This session video for backyard wakeboard tutorials is inspired by Jonathan Roberts and Austin. Congratulations on your new boat. I'm excited to see the progression thus far, and I can't wait to make it up there. Sorry it wasn't today, so this is going to have to do. We're talking about, when you first get into water sports and wakeboarding, and the wedge and the ballast setup and all of those things can be a lot. So I'm going to try to diagnose it for you in simple terms, and realize that good wakeboarders make up for bad boat drivers. Okay, so good wakeboarders make up for bad boat drivers. So we're only getting better every day, and you're at the helm, you're doing your best, you're pulling your friends, you want to be safe, you want to send good vibes. So this is my way to send good vibes to y'all up in Percy Priest today. You probably have better weather than I do. It may thunder and storm in this, so let's get started. So there were some videos I saw of Jonathan wakeboarding, and one of the biggest things I saw was the ratio of his speed to length. There was an issue there, and it might be part of keeping the boat at speed. So the most amount of weight in the boat isn't necessarily going to make the biggest wake, but also the wedge and its purpose at a certain angle or a certain time on the water, it can do the opposite of what you really want it to. So the first thing with the wedge is it an auto wedge or manual? Either way is great. Either way, it is a tool to help dial in the wake. Stoked to see the difference. It's really cool to be a rider, be standing right there at the wake, and you give them a thumbs up, boom, wedge deploys, and the wake almost doubles in size. So we want to use that to our advantage. If it is a manual wedge, there's settings that you can click it into place. A lot of times there's a hole in the platform of the boat. So if you're looking at the top view, there's like a little hole in here. You can stick your arm in there and pull the tabs and lower the wedge manually. There should also be a floating part to the wedge. So there'll be like 3 clicks that you can do. But then if you drop it all the way down, it helps the boat to plane in certain scenarios because it's all the way down, so it then will bring the nose of the boat down. So this is like the ideal wedge placement, where it's dragging on the surface of the water to create another 1,100 pounds of ballast, get the wake bigger. But if the wedge is down in a floating wedge position like this, when the boat goes to take off, it'll actually push the nose of the boat down and allow you to move forward. There might be a toggle switch for your wedge. I'm not sure. The new boat looks sweet. Can't wait to see it in person, but this is all kind of just off past experience. Sometimes they do have a toggle switch that has kind of like 5 different settings or 7 different settings. Think about that as the lines underneath the boat, okay? So you really got to figure out, let's say there's 5 just for easy math, 0 and a 5. But wait, what does that mean? Does that mean 0 is the least amount of help? Or does that mean 0 is the most amount of help? Or, what's a 5? Is 3 the best? The pitch right in the middle technically should be the harshest between all the way down and all the way up. So, you think maybe 3, 2.5, or you don't have a 2.5, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, so I don't want to get lost in my thoughts here, but finding out that 0 to 5, that's going to be something you're going to do later on to help dial in the wake. The fundamentals and like jumping on the board and the rope tension and even your first flip, it can be done with less of a wake but more clearance. Okay, so this is our picture. Okay, so you sent me a video, and this is what I'm looking at in the video. You're jumping across that. Okay, so your ratio for speed to length, I think it should be 65 at 21 and a half. So you can make it across to here. Now you don't want to land in the flats, but you don't want to land on this wake either. I would rather have good rope tension and a good pull and clear the wake versus the wake actually get in my way on the landing, because coming up short also comes up quicker, so you'd rather have the full time of your jump. So one thing to kind of double back, because Jonathan was saying that you were trying some jumps and some flips. So when you're clearing both wakes, there is a 50% jump. Okay, so I cut out against the boat half of the way that I'm capable of, and then I cut in with half of the momentum that I'm capable of, and I should jump and land right in the middle, right in the spine. Okay, but what you'll notice is that a 75% jump lands you on the other wake. So that's what's neat about wakeboarding is, you master the handle placement, your body position, and everything for the 50% jump, and then you've got to, grow the guts and realize that 100% jump is actually going to be better than a 75. But it started raining, so this is my first little deal, but with the ballast, 30% on the rear. Let's go probably 30 to 50 on the middle and 30 on the nose. Start there. Just enough weight that the ballast tanks work. You can go back there, see that they're full, like filling. If they're hard tanks, it'll be hard to know, but you'll be able to turn the ballast switch off and then make it spit out. A lot of times you can go from draining to filling, and then you go to drain and it'll spit out the side of the boat, so you'll be able to see where you're at, make sure they work. But 30% on all of them, and then start to dial in the wedge. But you want to make sure that the boat gets up on plane and 2 speed, and then you start tweaking the rest of everything. But if you're going around the lake and your nose is too high, a lot of times you have to stand up out of your seat in order to see it. That's probably a good sign that you need to put more weight in the middle or the nose of the boat, or you need to change the setting on the wedge.